What is up, guys? We are back with another video, and for those of you who don't really know me, I'm currently a one above all Ironfist who's one above all pretty much every season on Ironfist, and today we're going to be going through some very advanced tips that are meant for people looking to elevate their gameplay. This is meant for people who understand Ironfist enough to be playing him consistently in ranked. Regardless of what your rank may be, you're able to play him consistently, and you're looking to take your current game to the next level. That is what this video is meant for. These are tips that a lot of high-rank Ironfists as well don't use all the time, which does kind of blow my mind. But then again, even for me, applying these tips consistently every single game is still a challenge even for me. There are games where sometimes you just don't play that well. It just happens. Guys, before we get into the video, I do want to mention I did just launch channel memberships. I've had some viewers asking me for a while, and I do want to try to give back as much as I can through them. So I did offer what I think to be at least the best I could offer for now. So do check that out if you like my content. Also, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and joining the Discord. We talk a lot there about all kinds of stuff, and it's lots of fun. Anyways, let's get to the video. So the first tip we're going to go through is one that is very dependent on the context and the hero you're facing, but is extremely important to nail this down depending on who you're facing. And it is using your kick early in your combo, primarily to prevent an escape. Let's say there's a Spider-Man, right? And this Spider-Man is diving your healers, and you jump on the Spider-Man. You land 2 hits. If you kick now, you will not kill him. However, kicking now will prevent him from web slinging away. So he's jumping on your healers, you combo in and immediately go with the kick. And for that brief period of time where he's knocked back, your team or you can kill him, because while he's in that knockback period, you can land your next hit in the combo. Now, you might not kill him if you do this combo early, but it does prevent him from escaping. And this is not only for Spider-Man. This is for any kind of hero that has some escape mechanism, and you want to prevent this. It could even be used for a Psylocke. I've done it before on a Psylocke. I dive on the Psylocke. I land a couple of hits. I see her turn. She's going to dash away. I do the kick, and bam. In that period of time where she's flying through the air, she can't dash away or go invisible, your team or you might be able to land the kill there. Now, the most important thing to remember is with this combo, you don't always want to do this. You want to do it when you know you probably won't land the kill just by doing the full 6-hit combo into the kick. You think they're going to escape, you won't have the time for it. Or it's someone that's just very slippery and can get away quickly, like a Magic, especially Black Panther. A big one here is Black Panther. Sometimes I will see, because if you're playing Iron Fist, it's very hard to track a Black Panther once they have started their dive. If you catch them before they start their dive, you can take care of them, no problem. They try to spear you, block the spear, they're done for. However, if they start their dive on the healers, what I do is I go in immediately with the kick. It interrupts their dive and gives your team a chance to escape, your healers heal up, or kill them. You see the Panther diving, you go in with the kick, even if they're full health. It'll knock them back, interrupt their combo. And there's so many heroes that this can be used for, depending on what their escape mechanism is, what they're doing. You need to always think about when to actually apply this, because this isn't a universal thing that you do every game you go into. Depends on the hero and the context, but is an extremely important thing to start doing, because it will land kills in situations where if you don't do it, they can escape. It does land kills, and especially on Spider-Man. And Venom, too. One more big thing, before we go on to the next tip, is fucking Venom, okay? Venom, it's a lot harder to time it right. It is a lot harder to time this right on Venom. But when Venom is diving you, right, your healers, and you're peeling, you're getting the Venom down like this, you need to watch very closely after he uses his E for right before he dives. Web slings away. The moment, it's very hard, you need to have really good reaction speed. So when the Venom does dive, you need to be locked in. And the moment you see this Venom about to swing away, you do your kick. It interrupts the web sling, and he's stuck. So important as an Iron Fist, because you could save your team and land an easy pick on the Venom by doing this. But you need to be very focused, because the time that you have between him clicking web sling and you using the kick is extremely small. Sometimes you could do it preemptively if he's getting really low and he's very greedy. Sometimes he gets really low and you can kick before he even swings because he's just so low. You know you'll kill him in that little knockback period. But that is kind of it for this tip, guys. It is extremely valuable, and it can land you kills in many situations, so use it wisely. So guys, the next tip is something that I see high rank Iron Fist players don't do as well, and it actually blows my mind that almost nobody does this. I really don't understand it. I thought of this so early and no one does it. It seems to me so simple, and it is very simple. And it's using your block before you ult to gain your 30% damage reduction. You might think, what do you mean? Block before you ult. So when you're going to ult, right? Let's say you're diving, you're about to ult the backline. Click your block and then ult. Because if you just ult, you don't have that 30% damage reduction. Right here, that yellow bar that goes across your screen is your 30% damage reduction. Let's get my ult back so I can show you again. If you just jump straight into your ult, you don't have 30% damage reduction right now. You do not. You have to block first, then you'll get it. The amount of times I have accidentally ulted without using my block first, and I've just barely died. Like, I was so close. I had 50 health. I was just about to survive, and I died. That would have saved me. Because you don't just have 30% damage reduction when you're ulting. You have it only in the period after your block. So as long as you do this, and then you ult, you're going into your ult now with 30% damage reduction. This will help you a lot in your initial damage, so where you don't have to block right away. Because when you ult, it resets your block. You go like this, you block, you ult, now you have 30% damage reduction. You can hit the healers a bit. Any damage you take right now, 30% damage reduction. Then you can go for your block and your continued rotation. It is very small and very simple, but it's just very important. Especially because your ult has the animation right here where when you start, you can't do anything. Like right here, where he's channeling his fucking Chiho. Okay, I botched that. Ignore that. When you're doing that little animation, you're susceptible, right? One more tip I'll sneak in here is when you're actually doing your ult. Now, if you're a higher rank, you probably do already know this, but I figured I'll sneak this in anyways. It's when you're actually going for your ult, you don't want to be in the enemy's line of fire when it's doing the animation. Like, if the enemy team, if the backline's right here, you're going to ult, I'll always go around the corner like this. I'll do this, and then I'll go like this, and then you go. That right there is the ideal way to do your ult. That's it for this tip. So the next tip is extremely simple again, but also very important, and it has saved my life so many times. When you are in the back line, or you're somewhere where you don't have your block, you don't have your kick, and you need to get out, the swerving jump. And what I mean by the swerving jump is, let's say you're like this, no block, no kick, and you need to get back to your team. Your team's over here, right? Your team's, let's say, right here. Okay, it's fucking targeting Venom. Your team's right there. You're here, the enemy team. You need to get out. The swerving jump like this, left, right, left. It's how you avoid bullets the best. If you just try to jump back to your team like this, you know, you have your 3 jumps. You try to jump back, you're just going to die. They're going to shoot you. When you do the swerving jumps, they will most likely miss their shots unless they're very cracked. But it just gives you that extra chance of surviving. And it is so important for, once again, elevating your gameplay to the next level and just increasing your general odds of survival when you're running back to your team. Left, right, left. Just like that. It'll increase your chances. Now, there is another way, which is depending on if you're in a brawl situation, you're able to do it. Let's say you're fighting someone here, you're going to die, and there's a chain that leads you back to your healers, or in cover. There's a chain. Hang on, I just used my block. I need to wait till this is over. So there's a chain. You like this, back, and then continue your escape. It thrusts you forward to help you escape. So many times, I'm in the back line of the enemy team. I need to get back to the front line. I don't have my jumps, or maybe the jumps are too far, or whatever reason. You know, done, and then you can do your swerving jumps. Left, right, left. So once again, maybe if you're in the back line, you get back to your team, jump like this, and then swerve, and then swerve. That right there is, again, another very useful tip you want to integrate just overall in elevating your gameplay. So the next tip is extremely important. Consistently applying this is sometimes difficult, especially for me. And it's when you do your dive, you want to make sure you're landing in a position where you are facing the peel target. And what I mean by peel target is based off the back line, who is the most likely target that's going to peel for the healer. Let's say you're diving this robot right here, and here is a Bucky. You want to dive where you could see that Bucky. If you dive here, all right, let's see the Bucky's. You dive here, you can't see the Bucky. You don't know when he's turning towards you. You don't know when he's going to shoot. You can hear the hook, but it still helps to see it. And if you're doing this, you're not going to see it. You're just, again, elevating your gameplay, increasing your chances for survival. When you land on your dive, you want to land where you could see the Bucky. Maybe the healer's on the other side. Now you're blocking the healer, and it makes it harder to heal this person. Now you see the Bucky, And you can see when he turns to you. And it's extremely important, again, that you block early. Let's say he shoots you. The Bucky shoots you. You go down to 200. Then you block. A very good Bucky, again, if you're trying to go to high rank, especially considering Ironfist has been played so much now, a lot of people know about his block mechanism. If you block late, after he shot you, you have 200 health, now you block, he might hold his gun and have trigger discipline. He may do that. If he does that, you're in a very bad situation. You have 200 health, no over health, he's pointing at you, you gotta get away, he might grab you, you could die. Very bad. You need to block early, and I mean early. You start attacking, Bucky turns to you, he's about to shoot, you block right away, you gain that fat over health, maybe you're 400, maybe 450, because you blocked a Bucky's bullet, which is pretty good over health. Now you can stay in a lot longer, maybe swerve around, do whatever the hell you're gonna do in that situation. But if you don't block early, you severely risk them having trigger discipline. Now, maybe if you're very low rank, they may not do this. But if you're trying to rank up, as you get higher rank, you'll notice there will be an increase in players that have discipline on their shot when they see that blocking animation. There is players, especially at my rank, I'm in top 500, there's a lot of block discipline. It's very important that you block early, because when you block early, you will also most likely gain the most overhealth. But blocking early, it's important that when I say blocking early, I don't mean you dive and immediately block. It is, again, contingent on the fact that you are facing the peel targets and you see them turn to you. If you blindly block, like you're diving, right? You're looking down like this, right? This is fine if it's an isolated target or the peel targets are far or whatever, then stay on their head. Like, you can still stay on their head as long as you're aware of what's going on. But if you can't see the peel targets and you dive and you just start blocking, why? No one, there's a chance no one will shoot you. There's no point in you doing that. You just wasted your block. You want to make sure, like, let's say the healer's way in the back and their front line is up there. Front line's right there. You want to dive behind and you want to be seeing the front. You want to see when the Magneto, the Emma even in her diamond form is turning around, because you'll hear the ice form, you'll see her turning towards you. The moment she gets in grab range, you can use your block. If she doesn't use her grab, you got to get out. Now, Emma's a bit tricky, but it's important you're looking at her so you could see if she turns to you. If she grabs you, you're dead. Most likely, 90% of the time, you're dead. There's a chance you'll survive, but you'll probably die. So again, facing the peel targets is so important. If you dive and you're not facing them, your block will most likely be a blind block. And that, again, increases your chances of having a wasted dive and dying. Once again, elevating your gameplay with these little things that you need to be implementing every game consistently. So the next tip is on your ultimate, and it is about waiting for teams to mesh together and start fighting before you ult. I've had this happen to me too, and it's a mistake that I still sometimes make. It's ulting too early. If your team is not fully engaged with each other and you ult, the enemy team can just back up and shut you down. Back up, the healers scissor each other, well, they just stand next to each other and start healing. The enemy team backs up and they all peel and you lose all your value. You'll have way too much attention on you. Your team can't even capitalize on your distraction because you ulted too early. You have to wait until the tanks get engaged to where if they were to turn around and back up, they would be punished for this. If you ult too early, you waste the ult. Now, I've still made this mistake sometimes where I get too greedy. I'm looking at a dive, and I'm far in the back line. Even if I think the healers are isolated, I'm still too far in the back line, and I ult. And it results in the whole team turning around and pulling back. And my team tries to push up, but they're too far. They're too far, and so my distraction is wasted. I don't kill anything, and the ult is wasted. Always wait till the teams mesh together. So the last tip is something that probably a lot of people already know, but a lot of people also don't. And it's pre-comboing before you land your dive. Let's say there's a Luna right here, and you're going for your dive. Now, it's important that there's no universal answer here. It always depends on the situation, how fast you need to dive, how much time can you wait, where's the healer located. If the healer is completely isolated, there's no need to do this. Just quickly get in there, start your combo, you know, and land the kill. But if they're not isolated and they're in the back line, you need to get your damage out as fast as possible. Like, the team is turtled together, and it's a risky dive. You want to get your damage out as fast as possible. The quicker you get it out, increased odds you're going to force a cooldown. That is what you want. Because even if they're turtled together and you know you won't land a kill, you want to get a cooldown at least. A Luna Clap, a Cloak Bubble, you know, you want a Loki Lamp. These are the things you want to force. So if they're turtled and you know you probably won't get a kill, but you're still going to die because you have to, because there's nothing else you're going to do, you want to go like this. You want to pre-combo to whatever hit you want and then land it, because then you get your damage out quicker and then you can go into a kick. And now they're low. Now, you did do your combo early, and so maybe you'll land a kill, maybe you won't. But your chances are you're going to force something. You will force something. Then you can block, get your overhealth, swerve back to the front line in whatever way you want to do it. Now, using your kick might be a bit greedy. Depends on the situation and how close your team is. If your team is far, I wouldn't use the kick. I wouldn't risk it. Depends on where your team is and the situation. Again, there's no universal answer here. But if you know you probably won't land a kill, you want to get your damage out as fast as possible to force a cooldown. Bam, bam, bam. Loki lamps, okay. Block, out. Hit the tanks, go behind the wall, meditate, go back in, rotate. That's what you want to do. Anyways, guys, that's all the tips for today's video. If you enjoyed, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn the bell for notifications so you can see when my next video is. And as well as I do have a Discord, so if you want to come chat, you can join it. We talk about all kinds of things, including Ironfist and pretty much anything you can think of. And I did also launch channel memberships, so if you are interested, go check it out. I do offer some nice rewards. And that's kind of all I have to say for today's video. 1,000 subscriber special is tonight, by the way, if you're watching this video as of uploading. I will see you guys there, hopefully. And as always, take care, guys.